We are breaking into your regularly scheduled programming for some breaking news in downtown Rochester. The Rochester Towers condominiums, which are located at 2nd Street and 5th Avenue in downtown Rochester, are currently being evacuated. Earlier this afternoon, residents there received an email saying they need to get everything out because the Rochester Towers condominiums are not structurally sound. There was concerns there with the integrity of the building. So happening here soon, in the next few minutes, city officials will be giving us an update on the condition and everything that we need to know on what's happening with these condominiums. We currently have our KIMT News 3's Jessica Bringy live at City Hall in downtown Rochester for us. Jess, again, in just a few minutes, we're going to be learning more about this.
Yeah, Tyler, that's right. In fact, Chief Eric Kurska just walked into the building a couple of minutes ago. You can see behind me, we're getting set up for this press conference that was scheduled to start around 7 p.m. We're learning just basic details of what the structural engineer says are issues with the complex here, and we're expected to learn much more from Chief Eric Kurska, as well as others who will be providing comment tonight.
Yeah, Jess, and what have we learned so far when it comes to this entire structure? How many floors, levels, garage space, and just people who live there?
Yeah, so from the chief, we do know that there are 96 units in the complex. There are more than 100 tenants who are being evacuated. They need to be out by 7:30 tonight. So we did have a reporter on scene who will be going back to the scene of the complex, and we're told that they're very frantic, understandably so, as they're trying to get out as much as they possibly can before they all have to evacuate again by 7:30 tonight.
Yeah, and where this again is located, this Rochester Towers condominiums right at 2nd Street downtown and 5th Avenue. That's a busy road. It's well traveled. That's like the main thoroughfare to get to downtown. Jess, you and I know we live there, and there's already some construction there. So this is even adding to that mess.
And we do know that the Rochester Fire Department and Rochester Police Department are assisting in blocking off that area. They're asking any drivers, pedestrians, anyone in that surrounding area to please avoid it. Just for safety concerns, they're asking anyone to avoid that area tonight.
And we have seen many city officials out there just kind of looking at the building. We don't exactly know at this point what the structural issue is. If it's, bricks, if there's some sort of concern with the walls. And it's just interesting to note too, Jess, that earlier this week, we've been covering that apartment building collapse in Davenport, Iowa. So we have yet to learn too if, say, the city was looking into that following that collapse, or if this was just a regular inspection.
Yeah, and that's a great question to ask, Tyler, but you're right, especially given our recent coverage of the Davenport apartment complex. And we know in that situation, 3 tenants are still missing. So it's at least good to know that all of the tenants have been notified and are evacuating tonight to ensure that nothing like that, no similar incident to the one in Davenport happens here in Rochester.
And so again, if you're just joining us, we are covering some breaking news in downtown Rochester. The Rochester Towers condominiums have been ordered to evacuate, located at 2nd Street and 5th Avenue downtown. People who live there got this alert earlier this afternoon, about 4, just limited time to get all their belongings out. And Jess, too, I'm just thinking of the people who maybe left early, had the day off today. They can't get back. We have a half hour until that building is going to be closed to the residents, and this building gets shored up.
And I think that's another one of those questions we're looking to get answers. And in fact, there are city officials, including Chief Kurska, who are coming right now to start this press conference. So hopefully just within the next 30 seconds to a minute here, we'll get some answers. So I'm going to step out of the frame as they do enter for this press conference.
tonight. We're going to have a brief press conference. We're going to start with Fire Chief Kurska.
Jessica, if you could put the mic.
Share some information with you, and then we will go to Council President Carlson for a few of her words, and then we will open it up for questions. And with that, I'll turn it over to the Chief.
Thank you for being here tonight. My name is Eric Kurska. I'm the Rochester Fire Chief. Today, the Rochester Community Development team received a call from a structural engineer that's hired by the Rochester Towers condominiums who had concerns about structural integrity. Rochester Towers condominium is located at 207 Fifth Avenue Southwest, and it's a 15-story building with 94 apartments, roughly 180 residents. Since that time, we've been working with the property manager and residents to complete a full proactive evacuation of about 180 residents. Cars are also being removed from the parking ramp out of abundance of caution. We're setting up a zone of 150 feet around the building where we're excluding people, pedestrians, traffic, which means we've got 2nd Street and part of 5th Avenue that's closed to traffic in both directions. Property manager is working with all residents to find temporary housing. The Red Cross has opened a temporary shelter at Zumbro Lutheran Church at 624 3rd Avenue Southwest. That'll be open by 8:30 p.m. Emergency management is on standby to assist with temporary shelter through the Red Cross if needed. The safety of all continues to be our top priority. The partnership of the public service agencies is strong and working as trained. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brooke Carlson. I'm the president of Rochester City Council. I want to thank all of our public safety agencies and others who are helping keep our residents safe tonight. As highlighted by Chief Kurska, we ask all individuals to stay away from this area. This helps ensure that our trained professionals and personnel can do their jobs and focus on this important task at hand. The city will continue to provide updates and information as it's available. Thank you, and we will take a couple questions.
Chief Kurska and President Carlson, is there any message you want to give to people out there tonight, kind of on the heels of what happened in Davenport? Now we're seeing this happen in downtown Rochester. What's your message to them?
Well, I guess my message is I'm proud that the system's working. This was found in a routine inspection. That's what's supposed to happen. We've got the structural engineers on site, the city structural engineers on site, building safety is on site. Fire's rescue personnel are ready, standing by. The state response team is on standby. I feel like the system's working. It detected a flaw, some structural problems with this building, and we found it before something bad happened. So I feel really good that the system seems to be working.
How significant are these structural issues, do we know at this point, and how great of a risk does this pose to those tenants?
It is significant. This is a serious issue. That's why the tenants are being evacuated. Our goal by 7:30 p.m. to have every resident out of there. There will continue to be professionals, engineers, etc., shoring up the building after 7:30, but we'll have all the residents out by 7:30 p.m., at which time then they're safe. But the building is not safe at this time. This is a threat. And so once the residents are out, the owners have contracted with a company to come in to shore it up. The column, there's a couple of columns that aren't structurally sound, and they're going to use other materials to shore it up and make that building safe. We anticipate in 24 to 48 hours that the building will be made safe. It doesn't mean it's fixed, but the temporary shoring will be in place where we can open up streets, and then working with community development, building safety, city engineers, we will determine when it's safe for occupants to re-occupy the building, residents, even though there's going to be a period of time where repairs have to be made.
And I know you said you were working with the Red Cross to find temporary shelter. Where exactly will that be located?
Temporary shelter, I don't have it memorized. The temporary shelter is at Zumbro Lutheran, 624 3rd Avenue Southwest. It'll be open by 8:30. We don't know how many people are going to take advantage of that. The latest information I have is the owners have been offering motel rooms and they've been helping to coordinate that. So at this point, we don't anticipate a lot of people needing that shelter, but we'll have to wait and see.
Chief Kursko, what road closures are we looking at? I know you said about 24, 48 hours-ish, but is a section of 2nd Street going to be blocked? 2nd
Street Southwest from 4th Avenue to 6th Avenue, and 5th Avenue from southwest from 3rd Street to 2nd Street.
Do you have an exact number of how many people were evacuated from the building and how many residents there are?
I don't. I got my hands on the list of occupants 2 minutes before I came driving down here. It's roughly 180. We haven't had time to count them, but we have every name, every phone number of the occupants. And so that puts us in a real strong position.
And if, you know, some of them are at work, what have you, or just not in the area, how are you reaching out and contacting them to?
We haven't yet. The owners have been extremely diligent and forward-thinking. Real proud of the work they've been doing so far of keeping us informed and being very proactive. They haven't been laying back. They've been actively trying to take care of their residents.
And I'll just add that we appreciate the media taking this opportunity to get the correct information to share with residents of our community as well, who may be concerned about this building either because they're residents or have loved ones who need to know what to do.
Do we have any idea, too, of like the demographics of the residents as well? It's not primarily seniors per se, it's kind of all age ranges.
Yeah, I don't have the specific. I know there's many different ages in the building. I'm unable to tell you exactly what the breakdown is.
How unusual is this type of incident for our area?
I'm unaware of in Rochester anything like this in the last 29 years.
And there are a lot of other residencies in a few blocks around the area and a few churches as well. Is there anything that those residents that are in the neighborhood around them should be aware of?
Yes, don't cross a barricade, don't go through the police tape, keep away from the building, 150 feet. We're keeping people out until the engineers can shore it up and deem it to be safe.
And this will also disrupt traffic a bit for the people who live in the other apartment complexes in the area?
No, it's going to have minimal impact. We've got a church, that's going to be a major impact to them, and a parking ramp and a surface parking lot besides just street traffic. So minimal impact to other residents. The church is the primary impact because it's in the collapse zone.
And that's Trinity Lutheran right next door?
What's that?
That's Trinity Lutheran, that's right next door?
I didn't look at the name, I can't recall, but just southwest of the building.
How complicated has this been for the fire department, police, in terms of trying to coordinate and get everybody out by 7:30?
Actually, it's been quite simple. Police sergeant shows up, I got a battalion chief, they're working hand in glove, they're side by side, city engineers. I'm proud of them. We got great people working here.
Just anything else that you really think is important that we know tonight?
I'll let Chief wrap up, but I just wanted to say that we have plans in place for these types of emergencies for our departments across the city to work together. So I just want people to know that we're prepared for challenges like this, and we have our departments and leadership ready to work and make sure that our community is safe.
Anything further?
Anything else you think is important to add?
Just please stay away. Everybody likes to go look at something exciting. There's nothing to see. Traffic will be disrupted, and there's going to be a lot of heavy trucks coming in and out for a while to make this building safe. Thank you.
All right, thank you both.
Thank you.
And I will say obviously you all found out about this and were on one distribution list or another, but if you want to write your email down on here, I know you're obviously working on stories, we can add you to our PR distribution list so you're getting that and don't have to wait for that to go through your chains of notifications. So I'll just put this on the table. If you want to be added, please write down your name and email. And thank you for coming.
All right, Tyler, and we're just seeing this press conference, as mentioned, wrap up here tonight. We're going to be working to learn much more information, especially in terms of making sure that all the tenants are evacuated and what the next steps are. So we will continue to have live coverage once again tonight on KIMT News 3 at 10.
And just stay with us for just a moment, because the audio there, as you can imagine, you were there live. you're in that rotunda of City Hall. It was just an echo chamber, so at times it was really hard to
Sure.
understand. So let's give a quick refresher of just everything what's happening here. So again, the Rochester condominiums being evacuated, the Rochester Towers condominiums being evacuated must be out within 15 minutes now. Jess, tell us, how many people did Chief Kurska say live there?
He, once again, he's not 100% sure since he just received the list of all of the occupants, all of the tenants, a couple of minutes before he actually got to the podium. But he did say that there are around 180 tenants that need to be evacuated. He was also saying they're not sure how many of those tenants will be taking advantage of shelter being provided by the Red Cross. They are expecting certain residents to have connections to other community members, family in the area, so that they will have places to stay while they do get the building more structurally sound and at least at a point where it's safe for these residents, these tenants, to get back into that building.
Yeah, and on that topic, I was trying so hard to listen to try to hear what exactly the big issue is. We couldn't really hear that. Did he give any inclination on just, was it a crack in the wall? Was there a big pole or something in the middle of the structure that is giving way?
Tyler, at this point, that exact structural issue, he did just say it is significant. Again, he also mentioned in his 29 years of being on the department, they haven't had an incident like this in Rochester. So this clearly is a significant incident for the Med City in general, but also we are still working to learn much more about what that actual structural concern is at this point.
And I think I did manage to hear that he said within the next 24 to 48 hours, that is when engineers are going to be working to fix this temporarily. But that does not mean that after that 48 hours, that everyone can move right back in, saying that it's a much more significant issue than just that. And before everyone does move in, they're going to make sure that the structure is safe. Is that right?
Yeah, and they are hopeful from what he had been saying, Kurt's had been saying, that this will be a situation where tenants will hopefully be able to get back into the building within a 48-hour period. It's still unknown whether or not that means it will be livable, because at this point we know that it's not.
Okay, but overall, like you said, all those residents, they have some sort of temporary housing, but unsure how many people will be taking advantage of that right now.
And that's going to be one of those issues that we look into a little bit more tonight in terms of, just how many of these tenants are going to be contacting and working with the Red Cross to seek temporary shelter. That is something that we will work to update you on later on at KIMT News 3 at 10.
Okay, Jessica, thank you so much for that live report.